Okay guys, I'm sorry. My first video got messed up by my mom, but it's fine. Welcome back to Lives Vivas. If you're wondering what's on my face, it's a face mask declogging my pores. So that's what we're doing tonight, Sarah and Dr. Parker. Because I know that you watch my videos now. So, whatever. The whole thing got ruined. It's so lame, but now this is already on my face. Basically, this has to be on my face for 10 minutes, and I made hearts on my cheeks. So, comment down below which said I did better. But, whatever, I'm so mad at her. I was such a good video, whatever. It's fine, it's fine. We're gonna dive into the Viva though, because that's really the point of these videos. How did the Norman ancestry impact English society? Although nearly everybody learns about the Battle of Hastings in 1066, the Norman conquest fundamentally changed English society by replacing the Anglo-Saxon power structure and culture, and replacing it with a Franco-Scandinavian one. My 3 points today are going to be that it restructured society with Frankish architecture, the rule of French-speaking Norman rules transformed the English language, and the Normans fundamentally changed the English system. Let that drop. Okay, so my first point today, oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. So, my first point today is going to be that it restructured the culture with the Frankish style of architecture. And the 3 things that we're going to be talking about in this thing, and the 3 architectures that really stand out, are the churches, the monasteries, and the castles. So, even today, when we look at the buildings of the Normans, they are very massive, very impressive. They are very sturdy and strongly built, and there's like still tons of them today. So these castles, we're first going to talk about castles. Castles were very built for defense, and they are like stone with like 13 feet of concrete solid wall. It's pretty impressive, and this was all for a defense strategy. When the Normans came in to conquer, they did not have that many people, but they faked it until they made it. Which is a great life strategy, and you should always use it. They basically, what did they do? They basically, I know what they did. That's not what I meant to say. They basically made these big, powerful, impressive, scary-looking castles, so that people would not want to break in and try to conquer them. And it worked. They faked it until they made it. So, hashtag life strategy, hashtag success. Heck yeah. Okay, so John de Courcy, he was an Anglo-Norman knight, and he invaded Ireland, and he built this, I'm totally gonna say this wrong, but he built this Crackerfrigris castle, and yeah, he built this castle, and it was just a great time. So, and I don't know, I wrote "don't be greedy" on my note card because that's what the man in the video said. But Dr. Parker, honestly, that man is very hard to understand, and I didn't really understand the video. So John de Courcy was a knight. So John Hudson actually says, quote, "These were the largest structured buildings in stone since the time of the Romans over 6 centuries before," end quote. And so again, these were just massive, impressive structures. Oh, I didn't even talk about anything. I didn't talk about the monasteries or the churches. I'm sorry. Let's go back a little bit. So the churches, so they built castles that were make it till you fake it till you make it, and then they built churches, which are also again the symbol of authority and intense structureness, and just very like beautifully made, but also very structurally made, and it was just, yeah, really good. It was kind of like a mix between the Roman churches, who were super beautiful and super structured, and the kind of homemade barbarian churches, and they kind of put them together and just made these beautiful homemade structured churches. And it also just demonstrated the Normans' piety and their ableness to rule England. In they're just, I don't know, their capableness of ruling England. So again, and the monasteries are another example of their just impressive strong builds. Their first monasteries, timer. We're gonna leave this on for a few more minutes because I really want to declog my pores. So my back is cracking. Okay. Oh, and I have lavender kombucha. See, I showed you this on my other video, but my mom came in and interrupted it. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting my Vivo a lot. I'm probably gonna get points taken off of this. I'm sorry, Sarah. Okay. So monasteries are my third thing that they built very well. And so the first monastery was the Canterbury Prior, and you can still see some of the it's kind of standing today, but not as well as some of the other structures. So the Norman people gave lots of their money to the church and the monasteries, and so the monasteries were able to just build up big beautiful things. So that is point one. My second point is going to be that the conquest of England by French-speaking Norman rulers transformed the English language. So the Norman conquest transformed Old English into modern words that we can understand today. So today, English is a mix of three kind of big major languages, which is German, English, and French. So even if you read in class, we read some of the Lord's Prayer and stuff like that from Old English, and you can actually understand some of it from this Norman time period. So the oldest song in English is about the winter, and when you're reading it, you can actually translate it, some of the words. So it's like very understandable. It just sounds super weird, and it's kind of, you kind of have to like translate it, but it's like, you understand it. So Jeff Boxall says, quote, "The total number of words in modern English is estimated to be between 400,000 and 600,000, and many of them have more than one meaning," end quote. So English is just a very complicated language, and so it's just very impressive that the Normans kind of took the Old English and made it into modern English. They had a huge effect on this. So my third point is that the Norman feudalism led to changes in the political system and helped pave the way for important documents, such as the Magna Carta and Parliament. So the Magna Carta, we talked a little bit about this in a previous Viva, but it basically, the word Magna Carta means the great character, and it was created by King John of England in it was created by King John, and the one-third of it, the original of it, actually was deleted, which I don't know what that means, Dr. Parker, but it was deleted. And just, I don't know. So the Magna Carta is just this great document that really impacts America as a country, in modern America, and it shaped our Bill of Rights, and it shaped a lot of England's political documents. So, but it's just buried within the Magna Carta are the fundamental values that changed the role of the king and proved highly adaptable for the future. So it was a very timeless piece. And yeah, again, as I said, it has affected many great documents. So the Normans. So again, the Normans bring in feudalism, and as we know, feudalism kind of brings in the Magna Carta and important documents and Parliament. So Parliament was once or twice a year. Norman knights, barons, and kings met to deal with topics of state and law. So this was a time for the kings to understand and get information on their commoners and to kind of, figure out what the best situation was to do financially for people, for them, and stuff like that. So it was very fun times. Parliament, gotta love it. William the Conqueror became the King of England in 1066, as we know, and he introduces a new system, a new feudal system. So he kind of grabs all this land when he becomes the King of England, and gets coordinated. He takes all of the land and he splits it up. So he takes 1/5 of it and he keeps it for himself, and he does whatever he did with his land. And then 25% of it went to the church, and then the rest of it went to 170 tenants in chief, which were barons. So the barons helped William the Conqueror in the Battle of Hastings, and so he gave them land. And the barons had to provide a certain number of knights, for the Battle of Hastings and for battles, depending on how much land that they had and were the rulers of. So the barons then have this land, and so they keep 1/3 of the land for themselves, and then they give some to the church, and then they give the rest to knights who kind of look after the manor. And so the knights then can split it up between themselves, and peasants who live in the village that is a part of their land. And so if you were a free peasant, you could rent some land and do whatever you wanted with the land. And if you were a unfree person, which most people were, this meant that you had to either kind of work for your land. So you were kind of like a serf, I think is what they call it. But it was kind of like, a servant. And again, this is kind of going back to the patron-client relationship. So that is kind of how the land worked, and how William the Conqueror kind of changed that. And so, when barons, I think the interesting thing is when the barons get the land from the king, they would have to go to the king and say, "Could I become your man?" End quote. So that's where we're gonna end the Viva. I have so many ants in my room. So again, although nearly everybody learns that about the Battle of Hastings in 1066, and William the Conqueror, the Norman conquests fundamentally transformed English society by replacing the Anglo-Saxon power structure and culture with a Franco-Scandinavian one. And they again did this through restructuring society with Frankish architecture. They had French-speaking Norman rulers who transformed the English language, and the Norman feudalism changed the English political system. So that is it for this week's Viva. I am so sorry you didn't get to see my beautifully putting this stuff on, but we are doing this for Valentine's Day. So again, in the comments, which heart did I do better? I'm thinking it's this one, but could be wrong. With our lavender kombucha. But that was it for today, guys. Sarah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, I did not give a word of the day. A word of today is vexing. That was one of my vocab words, and I love that word, and I'm going to use that word all the time. So vexing is the word of the day. Hope you have a great, what's today? Sunday. Great Sunday, great Monday, great Tuesday, and I will see you Wednesday. So I don't really care that what it is. But whatever. This is a really long video, so I'm gonna stop it. Okay. Bye.